Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing this look right here. I'm basically doing a really in-depth full glam, well, full naturalish glam, well, who am I kidding, there's nothing natural about this look. But basically I'm going to be including a few little new tips and tricks that I've learnt from a recent masterclass that I went to. So if you want to see how I got this look and the new things I have to teach you, then make sure to just keep watching. So I'm going to get started, and I haven't done anything on my face, no primer, no brows, no nothing, because I want to give as many like tips and tricks as I can throughout like the whole process of doing your makeup, so I'm not really going to skip anything out. I'll probably only do one of my brows though because it takes too long. But I recently attended an Anastasia Masterclass, and oh my god, she was amazing, and she gave so many amazing tips and tricks, and I just want to kind of let you guys know, let you in on the little secrets and the tips and tricks. It's basically all around kind of balancing your face, because obviously when we think someone looks beautiful, it's normally because there's some sort of symmetry and kind of balance in their features, if that makes sense. So you can obviously use makeup and contour and all of that, and brows actually are so freaking important to kind of create that illusion. So I'm going to start off by priming my skin, and I'm going to take my Fenty Beauty Pro Filter primer. I am fully obsessed with this. I haven't been using any other primer. It just like, it really keeps your makeup on so much longer, and I've never really believed that much in primers, to be honest. I'm more of just kind of like a moisturiser gal, but this stuff. She mentioned that each product can be used for like a different issue you have with your brows, if that makes sense, because obviously the dip brow is a little bit more intense and you can really create those proper like hair-like strokes without using a brush and stuff. But if you want it a little bit more low-key, a little bit more natural, then you go with something like a powder or a brow wiz. I just love the brow wiz. I find it really easy to use. You can obviously use the brow definer as well if you find it a little bit harder to create those kind of straight lines, but brow wiz is just my dream. I've literally been using it for years, and I go in with the shade Granite. The whole kind of balancing out of the brows on your face, she mentioned that the easiest way to do that is literally you hold, I don't know, a brush or your brow wiz or whatever at the side of your nose, and that is where your brow is meant to start. So I'll just put like a little dot, and then if you go on the kind of corner of the tip of your nose and then the middle of your eye, go to the kind of edge of your nose to the edge of your eye, and that is where your brow should end. So actually where my brow hairs stop is where my brow should end anyway, so that makes it a lot easier. But you can see I have a lot of sparseness like on this side of my brow. And always make sure to brush the product out when you've applied it. It just creates a more natural look. And if you want it to be a kind of lighter brow, use really light pressure. If you want it to be a darker brow, then you obviously increase the pressure. And I like to just brush the top hairs down and then fill in any sparseness that I can see there. And then as we get to the front of the brow, I like it to be a lot lighter and kind of get that ombre effect. So just do really light little hair-like strokes and brush it through. And you can see the difference that it's made already, like absolutely meant to. At this point I'm just going to put my brow wiz down. I've already gone through it again with the spoolie. This highlighting duo pencil, I always just take the matte side. It's like a kind of creamy concealer shade from Anastasia. I messed it up because I used the wrong blooming sharpener, but you know, the product's still the same. Then just to keep that really kind of natural looking, she said to just run the spoolie lightly over the edge. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the stick foundation and just run that along the top, and then I will just do a bit of a clean up on top of there as well. Lastly, just to finish off, I'm going to add some of her clear brow gel just to keep the brows in place. Next, I think I'm going to move on to skin. So firstly, I am going to put just a little layer of foundation on. I'm going to use my Nars Radiant Longwear foundation. Oh, I just love this so much, and I'm going to apply it with my damp beauty blender. So now we can move on to highlighting and contouring the face, because that looks so flat right now. This is section 1, then you've got section 2, and then you've got section 3, and that's what you want to make kind of even and balanced. And you'll use the highlight and contour to create that illusion. So interestingly, they actually do highlight first and then contour afterwards. But I'm going to try and make this section of my face even in comparison to the others. So I'm going to just extend my highlight down a little bit further than maybe others need to. And I'm going to take it to the edge of my nose. And then I'm just going to blend all of that out really carefully with my damp sponge, just to make sure that I keep that placement. So just patting lightly. So at this point my mic decided to just go into blooming meltdown, so I'm just showing you how I'm going to use my Anastasia Mink stick foundation to cream contour, because it's a little bit more on the cool tone side. And actually in the masterclass she did say that normally we end up putting it too low and you want to keep that space underneath. So I am taking the contour shade up higher and I'm not bringing it too far forward. And what I'm doing right now is just taking a warmer shade. This is the NYX Wonderstick contour shade, just to make sure that it kind of doesn't look too grey, because I wanted to add a little bit of like a bronzy shade with it as well. And I'm just stippling that in with this brush. I think this is like a Coastal Scents, but it's just any old kind of foundation brush, and I'm really just stippling it in. I'm not moving it around, I'm not dragging downwards. You always want to kind of push the product upwards. And these products literally blended like a dream, like as you can see. And actually I think bringing that contour slightly kind of upwards, whereas normally I end up dragging it downwards, it has made a big difference on just making sure that those kind of three sections of our face are looking a little bit more even. And as you can see here, I've done a little bit on the forehead and on the jawline. Nothing too crazy, because I don't feel like I really need to make these areas much smaller. But it's just to give a bit of dimension basically back to the face. And then I'm just setting the highlight shade that we put in now that we've got all the creams down, and I'm using my Mercier translucent powder and just doing a little bit of baking just in those areas to make sure that it's set and kind of lasts for ages. And also it does help just to lift and brighten it a little bit. I'm going to go in with my Rosewood powder bronzer from Anastasia, and I'm just going to take this huge fluffy brush from Real Techniques over our cream contour just to set it. And I want to make sure that I keep it where we've placed the cream contour. And I always drag the nose contour right up into that brow. So, surprise, surprise, I'm going to use some Anastasia eyeshadows, okay? But I'm not going to use the palette, I'm going to use the single eyeshadows. Fluffy brush, and taking the shade Fawn and popping that into the crease really lightly. And then taking a little fluffy pencil brush, I'm taking Red Earth, which is another Anastasia single shadow. Here I'm just dipping into my McGrath Mothership 2 palette, and I'm taking this deep brown shade and just popping that exactly where we put Red Earth, kind of in the inner and outer corner, just to deepen up a little bit more. So obviously we've got the kind of halo shape down, so what I'm going to do now is pick up a little precise flat brush, and I'm just going to map out where we're going to put our lid shade. And using that same brush, I'm going to dip into this gold in the McGrath palette. It is incredible. And I'm just going to pop some lashes on. I'm going to go in with my Arika lashes from Lilly Lashes. I'm obsessed with these and they're super dramatic and they'll go really nicely with this look. Oh, and then I might just finish off my under eyes as well. I'm just going to use the same shades that I used on the top, on the bottom, so then the eyes will be just finished off camera. Nice. So now I can move on to highlighting. So in the masterclass they did just do a tiny little bit of highlight, like right on the high points, but I'm going to go a little bit more than that because that's just what I like. So I'm going to take my new, just bought this, the Anastasia A23 brush, which is their highlight brush. I've never used this before, but I'm excited to. And I'm going to take the Umreezy highlighter because it's still my absolute favourite. And what I think I'm going to do is wet the brush slightly. Just one little spray. Because I think it'll make it a bit more intense. And then I'm just going to pile this on because I love it. I'm also going to go around the brow bone and also onto the temple as well. And while I'm here, I'm also going to take a really little pencil brush and pop this in the inner corner just to brighten it up a little bit. Then for the blush shade, I'm dipping into my Anastasia Peachy Love Blush Trio, and I'm taking the kind of mauve and peach shade and just using a Real Techniques kind of fluffy brush. I'm popping that on my cheeks, and what I'm saying right here is in the masterclass they said you always want to leave a kind of finger width distance between the side of your nose and where your blush starts. I don't know, it just balances the face in like the perfect way. Lip, I'm first just going to line with Well Lip Pencil from MAC. I'm going to take the liquid lipstick from Anastasia in the shade Poet, and I'm going to pop that kind of on the outer perimeter of the lip. I'm going to take the shade Naked and pop a little bit of that in the middle just to create a kind of ombre lip. Then lastly, just to set everything in place, because I don't want any of it to move, because, you know, we spent a while on this and we want it to last. So I'm going to take my MAC Fix Plus in the scent Coconut because it is dreamy. And I'm going to put plenty of this on. So this is the final look, you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this look and learnt a few new things, a few like tips and tricks from the Anastasia event that I went to. If you do have any more questions about kind of, well, anything that I talked about today or any questions about hair in general, then please do leave them in the comments box below. And all of the products that I used today will be listed in the bottom bar as per usual. And apart from that, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!